Hey everybody, welcome. We are continuing our Patreon requested book of Hamza Yusuf's commentary on Imam Mawlud's poetry. This is still dealing with verses 59 through 62, and it was on the treatment of envy. So let's continue our discussion and reading. Unfortunately, the Muslim world is now filled with envy. For example, when many Muslims look at Americans and Europeans, they hurl criticisms, applying all kinds of rhetoric. Ostensibly, one hears moral outrage. However, the root of much of this rhetoric is envy. Ooh, interesting. Let's see what he says. They have worldly possessions and we do not. Aha, yeah, but guess what? We're measured by those possessions. That's something that people don't realize. We're measured by them. Let me give you a good example. Okay, like I'm Italian, right? I mix with Italian. In California, in the Bay Area, specifically the North Bay, there is a lot of stigma about having to be a very posh, wealthy Italian, even if you're an Italian American. There's this aura around, like Italian brands and Italian cars and Italian goods and Italian food and women especially. So, for example, I've I've had my own people, my own people. I love all humans, but you know what I'm saying. Own Italians kind of look at me like I need to be more of a model. Like I need to be like a beauty model. I'm older now, but like when I was coming up, when you're really in your prime, egging you like you should go into modeling, you should do this, you should do that. And it's like, I don't want to go that Italian Barbie route, you know. It's an interesting way. So we're measured by those brands. Like when they would measure me, it's like, do you have a BMW? Do you have a German brand or a European car? Are you buying Italian clothes? Are you wearing Italian leather? Are you wearing Italian fur? Do you listen to, good Italian operas? I do, but still, you know what I mean? And then comparing, Pavarotti with Andrea Bocelli, there's, stigmas, weird, like, fetishes that people have around Italians. It's kind of weird. But don't be envious of anything that we have. I don't think we should be envious of each other because I look at people who are in the farm, they have a dog, they have horses, they have funny goats, they have family, they have peace. Oh, and they just have simple clothes. It seems so peaceful to me. It's much different than, oh, are your shoes Alfani from the San Francisco, like the downtown, or blah blah, or it's too much, man. We're measured by it, and my cousins, some of them are extremely obsessed with brands, and my grandpa raised me not to be like that, and I'm thankful to him for it. But don't get envious over possessions, man. Is what often comes across. Similarly, when many less fortunate Muslims glance toward the Gulf nations that have great stores of oil, they cannot resist passing judgment about how the Gulf Arabs squander Muslim money. Ah, I started to notice a little bit of that, but I don't think anyone should be jealous of anyone's oil because the future is going to be green. You know how I know? Because these climate activists are getting more and more extreme and pushing their narrative out, and pollution is getting to be a serious problem. It's getting to be a very serious problem. And Elon Musk is a wild dude creating things, so the future is going to be green. So I would fear Japan and China way more because they're coming out with just brilliant technology concerning cars and other items. The tech world, and Bolivia because they have lithium for electric cars. So, I mean, who you got to be careful. You don't want to be finding these minerals in your country. Let's just put it that way. Whatever minerals they need to make clean things for the future is gonna go insane. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. So don't get jealous of another nation for having certain minerals needed for that economy. It's a temporary thing that, it might continue into our grandchildren's lives, but somebody's getting invaded for their resources for what's going to be put in electric cars. That's a fact. So I'd be happy in the mountains with peace. I mean, you could come to America and have a bunch of gangbangers, so I don't know about you, but. Or you have the swinger, wife swapping culture. I mean, we got good, but we're getting pretty wild over here. We're getting pretty, little bit topsy turvy. A little bit of the Joker movie happening here. And Idiocracy. The issue is comparing what one has with what another has, and that only fuels envy and brings about no positive impact. This does not mean that one should not criticize. However, criticism should be done with the purpose of being constructive and not destructive. Yeah, that's how I try to do that. It's a fine line. Sometimes it can get very blurry, right? But we can try. The communist revolution was largely a manifestation of envy. Oh, yeah, that's right, it was. Yes, at least he's honest. Look at that. That's exactly what it is. The have nots wanting what the bourgeoisie have. I understand the disdain for excess. Like when I see Mayweather doing certain things, and then I think about all the people right now who are going to go homeless. I just think about, please just do private charity, and it makes me have disdain for them. But he earned it. He took the punches to the face. He did the training. He did the diets. He won the battles that earned him the money. So, heck yeah, do your thing. But come on, man, just do a little bit more. One less $60,000 watch. You know what I mean? What could it hurt? You got 25. Do you really need 30? You know what I mean? So I get it when the communists criticize that aspect of capitalism and greed. But the militaristic dictatorship of collectivist resource acquisition via force of the state is an issue, right? The writings of Karl Marx indicate that he was filled with resentment. I want to read the Karl Marx's book on the channel, but I could, because I think people should read it. I don't like communism, but they're teaching it a lot, and I think Muslims have to understand what that ideology is because it's going to take over Europe. I think it's coming back. You got American universities really endorsing it, okay? I got censored on Facebook for doing an anti-communist post. They took away my ability to boost ads on my business page because of it. So, I mean, we gotta know what that ideology is because they have activists working in their social media platforms. It's an interesting time to be alive, let's say that. Much of his theory is founded on observing the wealthy and desiring that they lose what they have. I'm so glad that he's not sugarcoating it, man. I mean, that's some honest character right there. I love it how he's just saying the truth. More and more now, we're not being allowed to say what our opinion is on an economic policy, which muddies the dialogue and overall understanding of the perceptions of those political parties. This is not to suggest that when the wealthy are unjust to the poor and to the working class, they should not be censored. But from the point of view of sacred law, both the affluent and the needy have their respective obligations. You see, that's it. Sacred law with respective obligations being measured by your deeds, not your economic class. There's a reason why communism desires to take away religion because it makes the state religion, right? That's a big reason why Marx said that religion was the opiate of the masses. Opiate being a derivative of heroin, meaning it puts you to sleep, makes you groggy, complacent, idle, right? So take that and then realize how the Cuban communists talked about Catholics for a while, and then take out how the Chinese communists are treating Uyghur Muslims in China. But then again, I understand you can point out how America was a Christian nation who genocided Native American Indians and enslaved blacks, and then Irish, Italians, and Jews fought each other and killed each other to gain territory during the mafia era of prohibition, right? So I understand. I mean, we're not perfect at all. Every nation has their problems. However, concerning Marxism slash communism, Maoism, Leninism, all those, they have a point when, they say, oh, if we take out religion, we can attack the economic policy because, as he just stated here, religious law doesn't say you can't be rich. However, Christians would say the eye of the needle camel phrase that they is tribute to Jesus, and then atheists would chime in and say, aha, look at that. And then an atheist would also point out, look at Joel Osteen, look at these mega pastors, look at the Catholic Church spending. And then you're going to get into the whole conversation of uh, the behavior of people in the church versus the churches as an institution, and then in Catholic dogma. So the sacred laws of Islam and of Christianity have a big point to do to talk about sacred law and respective obligations concerning economic status, and how atheistic communist militants view it in a totally different light, and how it caused problems in the past and is causing problems today. Yeah,